of August 23rd, 2016. PV Sindhu played a game at the Olympics, and the next day's headlines were fascinating. She won a silver medal, said some. She lost the gold, said some others. Till today, I can't figure out who of the two is right. Yes, factually, objectively, both are correct. And that is the crux of it, the attitude you have towards, and I'm not one of those gurus who will give gyan on attitude. No, not at all. The PV Sindhu headline split really tells me that our country also has an attitude towards success or failure. Like individuals, you can look at a country and say, this is set up for failure. This is set up for success. Now, when you rate your own classmates, I'm sure you can all go back in your mind to class 3 and say, oh, this guy won't do well, that lady, well, oh, this guy's. It happens. All of us do it. About ourselves, about everybody else. You can also take a look at the atlas today when you go back home and turn it around, close your eyes, put your finger on any country and say, this country is screwed up. Next 30 years it's going to do nothing great. You can do like that. So in the 50s and 60s, many people said India was screwed up as a country. You can remember this, Nighat C. Chaudhary and V.S. Naipaul novel titles, The Continent of Sark, The Dark Continent, The Anarchy That Functions. Since I was born in the 70s, I've been thinking, is India set up to succeed or to fail? Actually, the organizers chose to change what I had said I believe in. I said I believe I was not born to fail. Neither are you, and neither is my country. That was the crux of what I wanted to say. However, growing up in the 1970s, you realize this country was indeed set up for failure. We were a socialist republic. Socialism? You must have heard about it. The beautiful thing about socialism is it has no relationship with success at all. So in our lives, as we grew up in a small town, everybody did a government job, nobody failed. It was the most amazing place. Nobody failed because nobody tried to do something, and nobody tried to do something because there's nothing really to attempt. There were absolutely no opportunities in the Socialist Republic of India in the 70s, so nobody tried anything, nobody failed, everybody was fine. And so there changes your attitude towards failure. You try to pretend failure is success, success is failure. You would ask somebody who went for a job interview, would come back and say, they said, you're too qualified for this job. If somebody had a marriage proposal, some boy came to see a girl, they would never tell you because they're afraid to say, I failed. There was this fear about failure, and therefore the fear of success. This is best showcased if you look at the two most popular institutions of India, Bollywood and cricket. Entire 60s and 70s, Bollywood was about failure. Koi jab tumhara hriday tod de. That's what the guy wanted. The most successful Bollywood character and made into a movie 3 times was somebody who could not propose the girl. He could not marry her, and he began drinking and drinking and drinking. This was the kind of failure that Bollywood thrust on India as an ideal. Cricket matched it, because in cricket, India was never willing to accept a failure. 1983, on June 25th, this guy ran behind to a bad ball of Madan Lal, caught Vivian Richards' ball somewhere at deep mid-wicket. And for the first time, this word was attached to India in a meaningful way. World champion. We didn't know what to do with it. There was no hash, World Cup, world champion. Nobody tweeted about it. Uh, on radio, you can't kind of visualize that catch no matter how good uh, the commentary was. And so we saw the spectacle of it much later. But the first time in India, we believed we could be world beaters. It all changed in 91. Changed in 91. A man came and said, India is liberalized. Socialism is failed. Failed. Gone. Whoosh. And so, from that day to this day, is a fascinating transformation in the psyche of India. That we could come forward and say, I failed. But this isn't very encouraging too. I'll be a bad guest and say, celebrating failure, to hell with you. You can't celebrate failure. You know that? Nobody can celebrate failure. You can only celebrate success. Let's not bullshit ourselves. Nobody wants to fail. Yes, you do fail sometimes. Nobody wants to fail. This is a successful event. So many people have come. So this should have been about celebrating success. But fair enough. This hashtag was available, so I took it. You know, .com, you don't get that thing, so. But tell me really, what does success mean? Now I realize nowhere in our lives, from school to college, in family, where we discuss so many things, does anybody tell you what is success? Nobody prepares us for success. We are never ready for success. And let me tell you this, we're all more comfortable with failure than success. That's the side about us. We're more happily going to be Vinod Kamblis than Sachin Tendulkar. That's the way we are. And one of the reasons for that is a very dubious misunderstanding of success itself. And that is, we love underdogs. We love people who have no chance at all. I mean, look at Rahul Gandhi's popularity on Twitter. No, I mean it. We really love the day he can do the Bible became popular because of the David versus Goliath story, because so nice. I mean, here's somebody who had no chance, bound to fail. Wow, makes sense. So, all of us in our own ways would like to, therefore, set ourselves for some kind of a difficult corner moment so that we can come back and speak here. And no, it's true. I mean, so I like to summarize because I'm supposed to make some personal confessions like we do on Sunday mornings. So I'll summarize my life and do it 2 times and let you judge. I wrote a book at the age of 9 or 10, made me the youngest author in the country for a competition to write history textbooks for. No, it's not done. It's not done. It's a long sentence. Got a national scholarship, studied in a public school, went to the Indian Air Force, came 5th in All India merit list. I wrote 3 books before I was 30. I write for some of the top newspapers in the world. I've set a startup 12 years ago, got a funding of about 100 crores. I lost all that money within no time, so on and so forth. Now I redo this. The book I wrote didn't win a prize. The first 3 books I wrote never got published. I was also born with a cleft lip. I couldn't speak. I used to stammer, terribly embarrassed about standing in public, and so on and so forth. So you see, they're both true, but they're both meaningless. Stop feeling pity for yourself. Ever. Everybody has a story after success. You know the Steve Jobs story? Oh, he was fired. 2,000 startup founders have been fired in Hyderabad. Not one of them may go on to be Steve Jobs, and then the world won't care. Your failure matters only if you succeed subsequently, and then you come back and have coffee with Karan and speak about it. So you see, there is this relationship nearly like that of life and death, nearly like that of health and disease. We will all fall ill someday. We will all run into that awful guy. But the great guy is there, waiting. Believe it. And therefore, it really comes down to asking ourselves this: what can we do with this failure that we are bound to statistically run into? We walk, we run, we fall, we break our leg, we get up, we walk. So what can we do with this failure? What kind of a relationship I build with failure? Do I respect it? I think so. I think we should. And we should, because it is a very powerful thing, because when you fail, it's bad. You could do the worst of things to yourself when you're down. But the amazing thing is, and I'll tell you the story of a man called Napoleon Bonaparte, who conquered Europe. All that is fine. He was defeated. He was, as part of a Fontainebleau treaty, thrown into this island called Helena, about 20 odd miles from Corsica. No chance. He was made an emperor of a small island. Imagine Napoleon, who ruled Europe, instead, you're the CEO of Lamakan, something like that. And there he was, less than 10,000 people around him. He did a few things. He set the governance of that whole country within few days. His wife died. He was contemplating suicide, and something happened to this man. He said, let me go and conquer Europe again. He just swam 20 miles, small, short guy, and he began walking, and the people who were supposed to stop him, the soldiers of the monarch Louis XVI, who was kind of brought back to the throne, he said to them single-handedly, shoot me if you will, I am your emperor. If you want to kill me, kill me. They saluted him and began walking behind him. One man. 3 sergeants could have stopped him. The whole of Europe, however, could not. He walked back to Paris and got it back. There are millions of such stories. These stories tell you one thing. Yes, however abstract and sometimes unlikely as it might feel and sound to you, there is that sunrise tomorrow morning. It's not guaranteed, but you can have a shot. You can give yourself just that. So if there's something I would think I have learned, is if any failure takes away your enthusiasm to start all over again, then you have indeed failed. In that sense, I haven't. Every setback made me say, oh, but I had so much fun and I laughed. And each one of us can. I think that's the beautiful value we can take from failure. In the great words of a poet who said, success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar, you require the sorest need. Not one of all those purple hosts who took the flag today can tell you the definition of success as he who, bleeding, dying alone, in whose ear breaks the distant strain of triumph. And I will leave you, as I always do in my speeches, with the words of somebody I really believe can help us. Not in a, counseling sort of a way, but they can make you feel like a hero when you're down. These are the words Churchill spoke on radio when Hitler was pushing on the edge of France, threatening the very civilized world order. And he had a message for England. And that's the message I think every person who ever succeeds or has succeeded has for each one of us who wishes to succeed. And that's the F beast, the failure beast. You need to be desperate for success. And you must be able to say, I will fail tomorrow. Today, let me give it one good shot. And the words of Churchill were 6 words: inspired his country, inspired the world. Never, 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 never give up.